Tell me how you silence the cry when you knew a living soul was on the other side. What were you thinking? To take a life you knew existed? How could you justify taking tomorrow from someone's eyes? You had the power and chose the blade. You stole the chance, another heart was made. What were you thinking? You knew, you knew, you knew. Actions echo louder than the words you try to claim. Mercy doesn't bend just 'cause you're drowning in your shame. You knew the road, you knew the truth, still you chose to cut it loose. And now you wear a hollow wound where a miracle once bloomed. Tell me, how'd you bury the light when you knew it was a soul, not a shadow in the night? What were you thinking? To take a life you knew existed? How could you justify taking tomorrow from someone's eyes? You had the power and chose the blade. You stole the chance, another heart was made. What were you thinking? You knew, you knew, you knew. Every choice becomes a stone. Every truth becomes a throne. Life isn't yours to erase. You can't rewrite a soul's birthplace. What were you thinking? To take a life you knew existed? How could you justify breaking a future you were never meant to deny? Stand in the mirror, look in your eyes, face the truth you try to hide. What were you thinking? You knew, you knew, you knew. You hear the unheard cry. We feel the life denied.
Neon sky, hearts collide. True
What?
flickers in the midnight tide.
Can you hear me? No, you can't even hear me. Maybe you can hear me,
Was gone,
but the cam is not there.
but every
Let me see.
proves them wrong.
Goodness, what's going on right now?
Pulse inside the noise.
Okay. Well, at least you can see what's going on the screen. So let me see if I can get this cam back on. We can hear you. Yeah, that's good. At least, right? Let's see. How's everybody doing? Let me get this music off so you can hear me over the music, or at least turn it down. Because, yeah, this is interesting. What the start is going on right now? Let's go ahead and add the cam. No, that didn't work. Let's. That's not right. That, well, I guess that's what it is. Let's see if I can remember these hotkeys here, guys. Goodness gracious, I am sorry that this is going like this. Holy cow. All right, so let's see if I'm even on this other screen. Probably not. No, I'm not on this other screen. Goodness gracious. What a cluster F we've got going on, guys. Sorry about this. We'll just call it good with you being able to see all of my background and my door and all the crap that we've got going on in my room. Okay. Welcome in, guys. Thank you very much for being here. I don't know what that was about. His words of love, thank you very much. I believe that your suggestion helped me, and I was able to figure my out because of what you gave to me. So thank you very much for that. And everybody else in the chat, thank her for that too, because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. Now, hopefully I stay here and don't drop the stream for no reason at all. Thank you very much, Wickmoto. I appreciate the help and the support that I've gotten from you guys. I cannot tell you how much. I really do appreciate it. All right, so let me go ahead and get this music off now that we've gotten pretty much as close to being started as we can get here. Thank you very much for joining back into the stream, everybody. Let's see. Okay, so we've got a couple of people that I'm going to be modding up for moderators that have asked. If you would like to be a moderator, I would be happy to have people help promote my channel. Please don't be axing people for no reason, right? I know there's a couple of good mods out there. So please learn from the best if you're going to choose to be one of my mods, please. All right, so starting out the day, because we're so far into our day already, I won't necessarily get too much into the funny stuff, but which really pumps me out because I like my funny bits. But my main topic for the day is going to be what's going on in the next generation. What's going on these chat rooms online? What are we doing as parents? And again, I know that I'm not a parent, so I can't be talking too much as I would like to be. And so I would like to really, really work toward getting back into some semblance of understanding, right? Thank you very much, TVT, for being there for me. You're welcome, man. I appreciate you being here for me. A Crucible Crusader, yeah. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys. Wickmoto, you like axes? Yeah, I'm not sure what the axes are. I've only seen the wrenches. I've only been a mod for one other channel and only had 2 mods now. So thank you for that. All right, so we'll go ahead and jump in, and so that I can get you on with your day, we'll go ahead and pull up what story that I have going on. Now, if you haven't seen back, I don't know, it was probably, this was recently, but back a little while ago, we all heard the story about little Tay, right? She just turned of age and then went out and got an OnlyFans and made $1 million in 3 hours, I guess, from what I've been looking into since seeing this new case, because once I saw this new case, it seems like the little Tay has dropped out of the scene and we have this new one. So I'll go ahead and jump right into here and she'll kind of explain what's going on. We don't necessarily want to hear her intro, so we'll just go ahead and skip forward a bit.
To be a web of exploitation of minors on the internet. And we're going to recap that story before we get into our final end piece of it, which unfortunately is an 18-year-old girl starting in OnlyFans as soon as she turns 18. That girl is Piper Raquel. Now, just to refresh our memory.
So again, yeah, gamer OnlyFans is absolute OF. I don't know if I can even say it on YouTube. OF is absolutely disgusting. I don't condone it. I don't agree with it. I wish that we would figure out a way to get rid of it without more government intervention. Because yet again, I personally don't want more government in our mix. Dave, welcome back. Appreciate you being back in the stream. Any engagement that I can get, I appreciate greatly. All right, here we go.
A little bit. Piper Raquel, I think, symbolizes a generation of young women who's been exploited by the internet and the people around them, who have been sexualized at a very young age, unfortunately. And I think that sexualization has led to poor decision making in adulthood, but that's just my opinion. Now, Piper Raquel, for those of you who don't know, is an online influencer, YouTuber, OnlyFans creator now, who's been on the internet for
the fact that she's been on the internet for so long is my biggest concern. Right? These young girls get online very young ages and start to work their fame up. Now, who has control over them? Their parents. So really, in reality, who is at fault? Who is to blame? Who is the ones that should be Xing this out, not government intervention, right? That's again why I say I don't like government intervention.
For a very, very long time and has sort of built a cult following around her. Some of her earliest YouTube videos are very strange, one of which is a shaving cream bathtub challenge that she did with her brother, who was really not her brother. He was her mother's boyfriend.
This is concerning even at brother-sister area here, as far as I'm concerned. The age difference between them, they shouldn't be in this kind of a situation at all, as far as I'm concerned.
Friend pretending to be her brother on YouTube. Now, mind you, this shaving cream bathtub challenge that was posted on YouTube was posted 8 years ago now, which would have made her 10 years old. Now, when you look
at 10 years old, she was bathing with an adult. Regardless of whether it was a family member or not, it should not be. Even the appearance of evil should be avoided. This idea is not okay in any way, shape, or form.
Into her YouTube a little further, you're going to find all these strange thumbnails that feature her with boys doing different things, sort of alluding to things in a sexual nature. Just a treasure trove of just weird posts, in my opinion, that went on for years and years. And we originally spoke about Piper because she was invited to something called the Bop House, which is a house where only...
All right, so now if you haven't seen the Bop House or heard of the Bop House, you're probably living under a rock. But let me go ahead and show you a different video that she does on basically the specifics of the Bop House. It happened 10 months ago when she saw, and this is Amala Ekponbi. I'm a potato, and that's why I'm trying to not pronounce her name because I know I just murdered it. And I'm sorry, Amala. But if you haven't seen her, please go check her out. She's got some good videos. But we'll go ahead and view this video on the Under the Rock I Shall Stay. Yeah, I wish I would have been under a rock, Dave. I wish I could have stayed under a rock. But we'll go ahead and get back into this one, and this is explaining the working up to this release of the OF.
Buy these full sets.
Oh goodness.
Alleged, it's for informational purposes only.
Yeah,
contains
this is alleged. This is all for informational purposes, even on my side. It's all alleged, but this is some interesting information that you can't really deny, I wouldn't say.
Verified allegations and is not presented as fact. Guys, I am not trying to get sued. I am just trying to get to the truth. First, we'll
I agree with that. I'm not trying to get sued. I do want the truth, though, and the truth needs to start coming out, especially on these kind of sites and ideas and fraternities, essentially. Do you think they named it after the Bop House because of the kids Bop, Mr. B? I'm curious on that. Unfortunately, I'm really curious and concerned on that one because the implications on that go hand in hand with the implications of the house itself.
explain the Bop House. Now, there's a ton of very popular OnlyFans creators online, and a bunch of them decided to get together to live in something called the Bop House, and it's basically a house that I believe they've rented out for creating their OnlyFans and online content. The Bop House page itself on TikTok has 3.1 million followers. And on TikTok, the girls that
Yeah, so they say that they're not doing anything explicit. Well, explicit is, I guess, a relative term, but they're not doing anything too overly the top. They don't get knocked on this in this Bop House, but I don't know. I don't know how this is an okay thing. If it's not straight out prostitute, I don't know what it would be, honestly, as far as this house goes.
stay at the Bop House are creating content like this.
All of these, every single time a video like this comes up, it makes me cringe. I don't know, like, gives me the ick. I don't know what you want to call it, but every single kind of this type of video where they dance or they do stupid, there's no appeal to me. I don't understand the appeal to anyone else on this one. And then her getting dragged away in the end of this scene. What are they trying to allude to here? It makes me nervous again. And I realize that this is 10 months old, but if she was doing this, I mean, again, at what, 10 years old, she was shower cream bathing, and we'll get into more depth of stuff. It's like a Valley Girl, like, he, I'm just a dumb bimbo type of thing. Yeah, Dave. Unfortunately, that's basically what it boils down to. And the simps like those dumb girls. What's really funny is all of the movement toward strong, independent women. They've got this kind of stuff going on, wrecking it, and yet every time the ones that are screaming for the equality get in on it, they're for this kind of stuff. So why? I don't understand what this is. I don't get it. I really don't understand what the appeal to this kind of stuff is. This looks like those whorehouses that, like, the old spy movies. Pick a girl, Mr. Bond. Exactly. That's Mr. B. Exactly what I saw in the end here, especially with the way that they dance across and then that's what I got the gist of. And that's alluding to what it would have been, Pizzagate or something like that. I think it was called. I'm a potato, so I'm not completely sure on the terminology, but wasn't that something to do with this?
Now you'll notice in the video, a girl at the end gets grabbed by a boy and taken away. We're going to talk about who that girl is in.
Yeah, gamer. So that's the biggest issue with this Bop House is all of these girls, and they'll explain it a little bit more. All of these girls are young appearance. They're all over age, supposedly, until this 17-year-old was invited in to do collabs with them. But they all look young, and that's the problem as far as I'm concerned. But that's why this has gotten so many followers and gotten so big as it has, is because of the simple fact that they look young. So again, why are we okay with this kind of idea? Why is this got 5 million followers? because we shouldn't be okay with this kind of attitude here at all.
Just a second. But the very first girl in that video, who you see with her hands over her face, is Sophie Rain. She's one of the most successful OnlyFans creators of all time. She's 20 years old, and last year she brought in $43 million from her OnlyFans.
That is redonkulous. Disgusting. Yes, gamer, absolutely redonkulously disgusting. And I know you're not necessarily talking about that, but that's disgusting too. I'm guessing their fathers don't know the address. Yeah, Wickmoto. Unfortunately, I'm afraid some of them do, and they just don't give a crap. But the ones that don't know and would care, I feel bad for them. As a aspiring father, this hurts my soul. This really does.
Sophie's whole marketing thing is that she's a virgin who's making this sexual content, so that's why men are subscribing to her OnlyFans like no other page before. And it seems like all of these girls that are living in the Bop House are very young looking, which I have to imagine is a big part of their appeal, which is disgusting. And now that you all understand what the Bop House is, we're gonna get to that girl who was being dragged out of the lineup in that first video. Her name is Piper Raquel. She's a 17-year-old influencer.
So yeah, again, at this time, she was 17. So she shouldn't have ever been allowed into this Bop House at all, let alone people not going with pitchforks and burning torches to the door when it did happen. Right, gamer? PDF. This is what the kind of we're talking about here. And this is the kind of attitude that's feeding into it. Degens in training. Exactly, TVT. This whole house needs to be shut down. I don't know how it's going to be going as long as it has been. This is crazy. Disgusting is the right word for it. P is so degrading. Exactly, Mr. B. They do it then to themselves, and yet we're the ones that are degrading them. The men are the ones who are doing the degrading of the women. But then this young woman could have been very successful in her life. And she grew up being groomed, essentially, to be what she is today. And again, this is almost a year ago when this video was done, but she has gone to OF. She has gone that route. Hey, Blood Logos, thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate you being here. Third time was the charm. I appreciate you joining on the third time. I don't know if you saw the other 2 times that I tried. But I'm glad to have you here. All right. I'm sorry, officer. I don't know how that D9 dozer drove through the house. Yeah, Wickmoto. I'm almost to that point with this kind of attitude. Allegedly. We need to ban it all. All of it needs to go away and never come back. Hey, Matzi, I appreciate you being here, Mojo. Good to have you, man. Yes, thank you very much, Dave. Like the stream if you haven't. Subscribe. Ring that notification bell. And at the top, if you haven't changed it to all chats, this is, I believe, Just Me is the one who I have credit for on that one that reminded me the other day, and now I remember. But the live chat is what we want, not the top chats. At the top of your chat so that you're seeing everybody in the chat. And I'm glad I remembered, so I'm not missing you guys. I really appreciate you being here. It was quite the F up today. All right, here we go.
Who came to the Bop House and filmed some dance videos and other sort of TikTok style videos with the girls at the Bop House. She did not film any OnlyFans content, but still people are very upset that the Bop House girls...
She didn't film any OF content. How do you consider it not if she was at the house that we all know what's going on with the people at home watching this go down at this house? Ugh. Oh, this makes me cringe, guys, but it needs to be brought to the surface. And unfortunately, I'm afraid that the more we bring it to the surface, the more it gives the people that we shouldn't be giving the idea to. But the people that don't know about this stuff are just living their lives with their blinders on and not seeing this kind of stuff. They need to know about it so that they can be doing something themselves as well to be able to fight back against this. We need to be fighting against the corn, the OF, the idea that they can objectify themselves. If they don't want us men objectifying them, why do they do it to themselves? Hey, Jared, appreciate you being here. I don't know if I've said hey to you. Popping in, give some view time. Can't stay very terribly long. I have VTM game to get to. Yeah, I appreciate the engagement, Jared. This was definitely a cluster F today on this stream, so I appreciate any engagement that I can get. I'm always live at the same time, but today was a fun situation, I guess. All right, back to it.
Allowed a 17-year-old to be on the premises and film content that clearly insinuates that maybe she's going to work with them or drives male attention to Piper's page. Like, here's them dancing at the Bop House, and Piper has captioned this, "I remember I'm 17. Don't worry, heart, heart."
Do you, though? If you're at a house with older women that are inspiring you to do things that you shouldn't be doing, or pushing you to, or wanting you to do, whatever the case is, are you forgetting what your place is, thus your age is? You shouldn't even be here at 17 years old. They shouldn't have even allowed this young lady into this house at 17 years old. They should have seen it as a liability issue. It should have been, and it should have gotten them shut down. I don't understand why it didn't.
And they're clearly being sexual in their dances. I don't know how else to put it. Now,
exactly.
Some of the girls who are typically at the Bop House decided to not be there that day. Guys, stick with me. I know you don't want to be hearing any of this, but stick with me. Now, some of the girls who
it's probably a good thing she said that, because I was really about to end this. This cringe, ick. All of it. I don't know. But again, she says to stick with her, so we'll stick with her here.
are typically at the Bop House did decide to not be there that day because a 17-year-old Piper was going to be on the premises. One of those girls' name I've learned is Joy, and Joy made a video crying about Piper coming to the Bop House to make these videos.
It is about Piper, because one thing about me is that I'm never gonna do anything associated with a minor. Like, it is ridiculous that the Bop House would even do.
Props, young lady. If you're honestly serious about that, props. If you won't do anything with a minor. But the fact that you started that out with, it's all about Piper, makes me wonder what your true motive is in making this video and not being there that day. Are you worried about the competition? Either way, like Gamer, I believe, says here, someone needs to shut this down. And that's kind of what I'm here for, is to bring awareness to as many, I don't know, petitions or whatever we need to do to get this kind of stuff. The corn on the internet is one thing, but this is one singular house that is contributing to God only knows how much degeneracy and furthering. I don't even necessarily want to say on stream.
Do that when there's so many other people you can collab with that is over age, because we all know what you guys do. So I just think it's fucking ridiculous, and I cannot tolerate that.
Now, the girls who were at the Bop House,
again, I agree with her on that, but we'll see.
filming with Piper at the time are defending their choice, saying that they didn't film any sexual content. It was just a TikTok collaboration, and that's that. And yeah, I could see where girls this young and this deluded would believe something like that, but it's clear that they know the makeup of their audience. They know what people are watching their videos for, and to invite a 17-year-old over to film these sexual dance videos and post them out to the world, of course, is going to be driving sexual traffic to her page. So the reality is they weren't worried about that sexual traffic being driven to Piper's page. Neither was Piper. And at the end of this video, you're going to know that Piper's parents don't care about that either. But then,
and that, again, like I said before, it seems that the parents are the ones who are essentially grooming them to be, I don't know, their cash cow. Is that what they're trying to do here? Is that what, regardless of whether it's your parents or whether it's someone else, it's still, I don't even know the PC word for it. Right? Pizzagate. If you don't know the term, maybe Google it. I don't know. But this is extreme. to the point where it would be, if it was 10 years ago, this would have been shut down the first day that it opened up. 10 years ago, I might be being a little bit polite there. I don't know, but this is nuts.
Joy makes another video saying she's going to be leaving the Bob house. And guys, if you think all of this sounds insignificant, these videos have millions of views, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of likes, and they're driving in millions of dollars to the lives of these young girls.
I'm leaving the Bob house. I am done. I am done with the consistent gaslighting, the stupid drama, and most importantly, doing anything for views. You guys are vultures. You guys will prey on anything to get you your next viral video or get you guys the most views, and I'm so over it. You guys even used me crying over something that is legitimately wrong and that I genuinely care about to get yourself views. I'm done.
Yeah, that's pretty messed up. Regardless of the motivation that she had behind that video, to then take it and try to utilize it for your own benefit, it really shows you the degeneracy, the low that these women will go to make a buck. To make that $43 million that Sophie Rain made in that year. If the IRS doesn't know about her, hopefully they do now. And because, yeah, if that's a ton of money. Definitely more than I'll ever see in my entire life, even doing this kind of stuff, right? So for a young woman, why? What's the point? She going to leave it to kids? Is she going to have kids? Because if she's a virgin now, that's great. But how long does that last? How long is that going to last? Is she waiting till marriage? Making all this money off of simps, and the simps need to stop it. What are you doing? Seriously, this is crazy work. This is craziness. So make it socially unacceptable again. Yeah, gamer, I agree. This kind of stuff needs to be socially shamed. Like that old, that shame, ding, ding, shame, as she walks through the streets behind the person or whatever, right? The walk of shame. This kind of stuff used to be the walk of shame. It used to be, yeah, there were things like the prostitution and stuff, but you had to go down a dark alley to be able to find it, right? It wasn't on the internet like it is now, where you can just basically touch a button and get somebody to your house. Yeah, it's disgusting that these women rope the other women into it. Exactly, Mr. B. Single women keeping women single, right? To rope these young women into this attitude and this process is evil, just so that you can make more money. It doesn't make sense to me. I do know there is like an OF kind of thing for underage girls, but you have to have age verification to view the content. I'm sorry, what the I hadn't heard about that, nor did I want to. Thanks, Wikimoto. Appreciate the information, but that's why that's not okay. I'm speechless on that one. This behavior should not be normalized for young women, and it is slowly happening. Yes, his words of love, I agree with you completely. It should not be normalized. This is wild to me. That again, when I was a kid, if you got caught indecent exposure, you got put into jail. And now it's, if you got caught with indecent exposure, you get cheered forward and told that you're an inspiration for the next generation. There are girls at my school talking about doing this when they turn 18. Gamer, that's exactly why I'm trying to reach out to the younger generation. Gamer, I appreciate you being here and being loyal like you have been so far. If I can get anybody else to watch me of the younger generation, I'd appreciate it, because I know I'm a potato. I know I'm nothing. I know I don't have anything to really tell you other than the fact that I have lived a life that I'm not proud of. I don't wish it on anybody else. I hope that I can show you what not to do with your life. And this kind of attitude, the promiscuity, the P word, those things, it's poison on the brain. And I'm fighting degeneracy in any way that I can. So I appreciate any support that I can get. I greatly appreciate it. These girls are sucking D for views and thought that they had boundaries. Yeah, right. His words of love. They definitely don't have any boundaries, and that's the problem. We need to get back to morals and ethics, restrictions, like Apprentice said on one of the previous streams. We need to get back to restrictions, but restrictions through morals and ethics, through the ethos of God, through the understanding that there is something higher above us that we have to answer to when we get done with this life. And again, if you can't take it with you, what is that $43 million going to do for her?
Done. Fuck the Bop House.
And what I find interesting is Joy is clearly on to something. She's recognizing that there is a line, and there's a line that should not be crossed. And for her, that's a 17-year-old being at the Bop House before she is of age to film any sort of content, let alone a few dancing TikToks. And the reason,
yeah, gamer, if you want to drop a bug in people's ear and they start to view me and start to follow me, awesome. But if people don't want to view me, I don't want them to view me, obviously. I mean, at the same time, I agree with some discourse in my chat, in my Discord. I would really like to get into the debate scene, so I need some discourse to a certain extent. But if they don't want to view me, I don't want to push them for sure. Degenerate is an easy word on them. Yeah, gamer. I'm not real sure what a word other than evil would be, and I don't know if I would consider them evil because they do have some possibility of being redeemed. It's just going to be a very long, hard road for them at this point in time with this kind of a background.
I think she recognizes that something about this is a little foul is that she knows that every single girl who is at the Bop House is successful because although they are of age, in the face, they don't look it. I went to Joy's Instagram page to find out more and do research on these girls. And although she has an adult body, she has a very childlike face. And we'd be deluded not to think that this is a big part of the reason that men are buying her content. Not to mention her Instagram bio says 5'2".
I'll go ahead and pause it there because it covered up that particular picture. But that's just it is she, like I said, mentioned before, she has an adult body. She's of age, but her face is very young looking. And where I don't have a problem with that being a thing that people are into, right? It's the P word that the PDF. And that's what we're worried about. And again, like I've mentioned on previous streams, I want the list released. The Epstein list, yeah, I want that released. I don't care what they say and that it's been released in this whole blacked out freaking page of stuff and then Bill Clinton or whatever they gave us. I want it. There are people who need to be held accountable for this kind of attitude. That's why this house is still even a possibility to be up, is because the people in charge are behind this kind of stuff. They're the ones who are getting a portion of that $43 million or whatever it is. And we're sitting at $38 trillion in debt. Yeah. I want that victim card too. Or I want the victim list too. Yeah. Yeah. Gamer. Yeah. There's a lot of people I know, and I'm just going to beat it into the ground until we get it, I guess.
Chinese. Why do you want men to know that you're a petite Chinese girl? The undertones are clearly there. Some people.
And that's the other thing is she labeled herself 5'2". So she's very explicitly telling people that she's petite, she's young looking, she's going for that particular demographic. And that's the concern that I have. If it was, just going after the older generation or her generation, whatever, that's one thing. But it's that idea that she's trying to push that she's younger than she is or whatever it is, because that's gross. I think they are evil. They use their beauty and body to push men to sin on social media and to reach that $1 million mark, just to get money. Yeah, his words of love, that's a good point. I can't necessarily disagree with you on that one. The what is it called? The Sirens, right?
People might call me crazy for pointing them out, but it's very clear what is the driver behind this content and why men like it. And while she can't control what her face looks like, even though she's of age,
Yeah, Crucible Crusader, thanks for that. Just use the word tard instead of, just be sure. I know I've heard some people saying it on YouTube now, but I want to be safe. I want to get going, get my channel up and to the point where it's got some motivation or some momentum. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. Before I start pissing people off. Yeah, Siren is a good comparison. Thanks for that, gamer.
she's got this childlike face and she's utilizing that to her benefit. But clearly a light bulb went off when she realized it's not okay when a 17-year-old who maybe looks similar and has a similar vibe to you does the same thing. Joy was not the only Bop House girl that was uncomfortable with having Piper over. Another Bop House girl by the name Alina was also not okay with it. She expressed those concerns to the girls at the Bop House. They made amends and she continues to be at the Bop House. All of that aside, my question is, how
And that's the other thing is if you're really going to rail against it, like you need to go, you need to leave, actually rail against it. If you're going to say you don't like that, go away from it. We vote with our dollars. And every time that you say something that you don't like, but do it anyway, I think that's a hypocrite in some cases. And we'll probably go over that at some point in time or another. But again, this idea is not a good process to be in.
How does the 17-year-old get there in the first place? And I get why this is a heated topic and it's creating a controversial conversation. The sexualization of minors is absolutely not okay, and it is so rampant in our society right now. And the Bop House, in its own abstract way, because these girls look like minors, is contributing to that issue. And of course, if you're inviting 17-year-olds over, people should be asking you why. But I'm really wondering, how does the 17-year-old get there? Does Piper have parents? Do her parents know that she's doing this? Are they allowing it? Is Piper using her own money to get there? What's happening? And that started the investigation. For context.
And again, like I said, like she's saying, how did a 17-year-old get to this house? Why did the house, who is running this house? Is it Piper or is it Sophie Rain? Barely legal, essentially. They say that they can't make decisions until they're 25 because their prefrontal cortex or whatever the case they want to pull. But yet this young lady is running an entire fraternity, essentially. Fraternity, what is it? I think it's fraternity. Anyway, long story short, this is not something that we should be okay with, let alone feeding into. His words of love. She reminds me of the Corpse Bride. Amala? I guess I can see that if that's who you're talking
Piper
about.
has 5.7 million followers on Instagram. 12
That is wild. 12 million subscribers. 5 point something on the other one. 12 million. Man, if I could even have 500,000 subscribers, I'd be living the dream. 12 million subscribers. And again, I don't know. This is YouTube. Yeah, this is YouTube. Holy schnats.
million YouTube subscribers and 13 million TikTok followers. Piper's content is a little all over the
13 million TikTok. Wow. Freaking nuts, man.
place. There's lifestyle stuff, there's TikTok trends, there's relationship content, there's little things she's doing in her life on any given day. And I have noticed in looking at her content that some of it has a little bit of a sexual undertone. She wears skimpy outfits, she dances around in a way that is definitely sexually provocative. And I'm wondering how she got to this point posting this.
Hey, World's Backyard. Appreciate you joining the stream. Don't know if I know who you are. But I'm assuming it's someone I know. Tyler, maybe? Yeah, like Gamer just said, Tyler. TikTok is sick. Yeah, Crucible Crusader. I don't like TikTok. The only reason I have an account is so that I can try to start invading it, like the Andrew's TikTok invasions. I don't want to steal anything from anybody, but there's a lot of TikTok to go around, I'm sure. I hope, at least.
this way as a 17
Okay, Tyler, good to see you, buddy. This is his own little homestead channel. That's awesome, dude. I might have to go and subscribe to that too if you've got a channel that you're like, sharing your homestead stuff with us. I have a relative that does some things similar to that. They're kind of homesteading and they're showing stuff. So yeah, I'd love to support you if that's a channel. But yeah, welcome in. Good to have you. All right. His words of love. No, we're not going to ban you for saying that she looks like Corpse Bride. I'm still kind of curious if that's who you're talking about, though. I don't see it. No, the one on the top. Okay. I'm with you now. I see it now. All right. Go ahead.
year-old, and it seems like it started far before 17. Piper's YouTube digital footprint goes back years, I believe 7 years total, so she would have been 10 years old. And as you scroll through, some of the video topics and thumbnails are very interesting, and I'm gonna let you figure out why. 4 years ago, when Piper would have been, what, 13? This video is titled First Double Date with Rebecca Zamolo, Teen versus Adult Couples Challenge. And if you look at the thumbnail, what is Piper doing at 13 years old? They're trying to insinuate.
So we'll get into it here in a minute, and it doesn't act, they don't actually like lip on lip, but the fact that the parents are sitting there going like, "Call me back," oh my God, like this should be what is shamed. The whole internet should have blown up and just roasted the frick out of these two. For not just this, but we'll get into more, I'm sure. Hopefully we've got time. We're getting pretty close already, and I haven't even gotten into this video. Man, I really screwed the pooch on the starting of this thing.
Anyway, if you click this video, you can watch her make out with a boy. This one is also 4 years ago, so 13 years old. Ding Dong ditching famous YouTubers to see how they react, gone wrong. And there's a man at the door photoshopped in a towel. 4 years ago, also 13 years old, making awkward situations in drive-thrus with my boyfriend. And it's her and her supposed boyfriend outside of the sunroof of a car kissing. Mind you, these two.
But besides the fact that that's not that out of the realm of like, so what? Who gives a why is it such a thumbnail? Why? It's not explicit. This is just something that happens. I mean, I'm pretty sure I was kissing at 13 years old. Probably wasn't supposed to be. Again, not saying that I'm advising you to live the life that I did. In fact, quite the opposite. But again, why is this a 3.8 million views off of this thumbnail? Maybe I just don't have the imagination to go that weird with it, but what could possibly be the drive to watch this?
Individuals was probably not even be old enough to drive, so I imagine the parents put them in the car in this way and had them act this out for the thumbnail. And if you scroll all the way to the bottom, the second.
And this is where it really gets disturbing, like I'd mentioned before. You know, the older gentleman in the bathtub with the 13-year-old or whatever it is. Yeah, Crucible Crusader, the parents are encouraging this when they should be discouraging it, where they should be shutting it down immediately and saying, no, you ever do that again, I'm taking away something that is important to you. Back when I was in a young whippersnapper tater tot, back in my day, you know, I'd walk 2 miles to school both ways uphill and all that bullshit. But the thing is we didn't have the internet. We didn't have the ability to get out there into the world like this poor young woman has gotten. But more so, if you had ever gotten into a bathtub, regardless of what was in that bathtub, whether you were clothed or not, if you got in a bathtub with an older person like this, it would have immediately set people off. Immediately. And it should still. Because this gets wild.
Video that was ever posted on YouTube, unless they've deleted prior videos, is Shaving Cream Bath Challenge with Piper in the bathtub. 7 years ago puts her at 10 years old. So
Sorry, not even 13, 10. Disgusting. And again, we'll get into it here, but it's not her brother. And regardless of if it was her brother, unless you're Joe Biden, yeah, TNT, that's the problem. We won't get into that.
Picture's getting painted right. Now we can understand why a 17-year-old Piper is headed to the Bop House to film these TikTok videos and why her TikTok content looks like this. But it gets
Good gravy. And again, that's the thing, is she was literally groomed. At 10 years old, she was shown that this is an okay act. And that it's okay to go up and go get old enough to go do it on your own without the help of your mommy and daddy to do it. Now you're a strong, independent lady.
crazier. If you go to Piper's Instagram, the one with 5.7 million followers on it, you're going to read this. Account managed by family. So who's the
Exactly. Who's the family that we're talking about? If like someone had mentioned before, the parents should be raising their kids. They should be discouraging this kind of stuff. Crucible Crusader. Yeah. This is absolutely redonkulous.
family that's responsible for managing these accounts? My first instinct is that it's parents. So I wanted to look into who Piper's parents are. So I went to Google, I typed in Piper Raquel parent managed, and immediately this pops up. This is a headline in NBC News that says a YouTube stage mom faces abuse allegations from 11 teens in court case. The mother of a famous teen YouTuber is being sued for $22 million by 11 plaintiffs who say she abused them emotionally, physically, and sexually. It's important.
Yikes. 11 people came forward and said that they're doing some weird in that underage house. This is beyond disturbing. And yet again, this was 10 years ago, wasn't on the internet or wasn't on the news. This video that she's making was 10 months ago. She has over 1 million views on it. 1.6 million views on this video, and yet I didn't hear about it. I didn't hear about it until she turned 18 and she made that $3 million in the first year or whatever, or the first day. She made $1 million in the first hour. Under an hour. Which means people had been lining up, just like with Little Tay. People had been lining up since she was underage, buying content, buying underage content. And if they weren't, they were getting ready to buy essentially underage content because she posted, Little Tay at least, posted like the midnight of her birthday. So those photos could not have been taken when she was of 18 years old. And regardless, it was a day. She's still it's just a, what is the word I'm looking for? Arbitrary number that we assign to legality. A matter of a minute makes you legal or not? This is disgusting. You shouldn't be allowed to do things like that until you've been an adult for at least a little while. Like fucking 10 years. Sorry for my language. But this is getting ridiculous here, guys.
To note that this court case was settled and Piper's mom ended up paying.
Hey, Homestead Wench. Good to see ya. I was hoping that you'd join this stream. Good to see you in.
$1.85 million in the settlement, but I still wanted to read into the allegations. NBC writes in the 147-page complaint, the plaintiffs describe Smith, which is Tiffany Smith, Piper Raquel's mother, as a mean-spirited control freak and alleged she made comments about children's genitalia, shouted obscene and sexually graphic remarks at them, encouraged them to be sexy and sexually aggressive in videos, and inappropriately touched the children on their legs, thighs, and buttocks.
Yikes. And this is the mother? I thought women were the ones that were all peaceful and loving and nurturing and caring and making sure that nothing went wrong. If we were in a matriarchy, all of everything would be peachy kunky dory, right? I'm curious what this is. This is craziness. Dave, sorry. I'll watch my mouth. Yeah, I'm a swearer. I worked in the oil field, but I've been working on cleaning my language up for my channel.
One plaintiff said Smith told her she was mailing Raquel's underwear to a man who liked to sniff it. So Piper Raquel had this whole squad
Again, the selling of things over the internet, like the underwear, the bath water, the farts in a jar, these kind of things, where I'm not going to say they should be illegal, because that would be, again, more government overreach, but this kind of should be shamed. The people in the U.S. service airport, or the postal service, should write shame on when it goes through the x-ray. Like, they should be shaming this kind of stuff, because panties, used panty, like, new, obviously, no shame. You got to get them from somewhere, but used, what the actually?
of children content creators who were working around her and with her in her content, and they are actually referred to as the squad in this court filing. It's important to note that there are not a lot of laws surrounding the protection of child influencers and content creators, and that's something that many states are working on right now as we speak. The NBC article goes on. Sarelson, the attorney, told NBC
his words of love. Yes, I did just say that. Gross, huh? Gross. What the frick? Castaway, yeah, Homestead Wench. Yeah, I know that they swear on the news, but I'm trying to be better than them, right? I know I'm not, but I'm trying.
News that the guidelines for child actors on TV and movie sets don't apply for non-traditional filming environments like YouTube. One of the parents involved in this court case said that the squad wasn't acting since Tiffany Smith wanted, quote, real reactions, end quote, from the children, and would, quote, force them to live these adult situations they shouldn't have been put in. And
this is
he was
wild.
actually
I'm gonna skip
dating
forward a little
Piper's
bit.
mom, Tiffany Smith.
There it is.
And I know this because
So
he's
this is where they
introduced
get into the actual story behind the whipped cream bath thing that she had going on. This, like I said, this is just getting intense, and I still have 2 other videos that I wanted to show you, so we won't have time for that, but we'll go ahead and finish this up. Well, maybe finish this up before we go.
Involved. As I mentioned, the second video that was ever posted on Piper Raquel's page is titled Shaving Cream Bath Challenge. Now, in this bath challenge, Piper is apparently doing this shaving cream bath with her brother. Her brother in the description of the video is listed as Hunter Hill, but it turns out Hunter Hill is not Piper's older brother. He was actually dating Piper's mom, Tiffany.
So there it is. Wasn't her older brother, was dating her mom. And I'll take it back a little bit, because this is just absolutely crazy. The way that he's holding this young lady, it's not her father, it's her mother's boyfriend. Let's get that solid and through. What is this here? Why is this even a thing, let alone the bath BS, man? Holy cow. Davidless, I've worked construction my whole life. I've heard it, brother. Some of the guys probably bought those parts in the jar. Gross. Unfortunately, I'm with you. I've worked construction. I've worked oil field. I've worked a lot of different jobs where there's no filter on them, guys, and I don't really have a filter, which I'm trying to gear toward that younger generation. And when you hear the F slur and well, not the F slur, but the F word and things like that, people don't always like to hear it. So I'm trying to soften myself a little bit, because trust me, when I get into the debate scene, I'm probably not going to be a nice guy, and it's probably going to be a sight to see, let me tell you. All right,
Piper's mom, Tiffany Smith. And I know this because he's listed in the court case as a defendant with Tiffany Smith from the 11 alleged victims who sued for the sexual, emotional.
So yeah, you can't hide stuff like that. If you're out there in the public, you're going to be exposed. And with him being out in the public to be involved with the bath time, he then had his name out there, and now she's in a lawsuit with him because he's part of her life. And now he's part of the main scene. All right, let's see. We'll just jump forward here toward the end so we can kind
network
get
of
through
parents
this stuff.
doing this and gaining money from their children in this way? If so, where do we find them? How do we expose them? And other people seem to have known that this was going on. In fact, the famous singer Pink in the past called out this whole situation with Piper Raquel and asked how it's possible that this is happening, and it's continuing to happen to.
So again, how is it this well known and yet allowed to happen like it has? Because again, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I can't even say 10 years ago, man, I feel old. I've been through some time in my time. This would never have flown. Like, as soon as Pink came out, the whole government would have gotten on it because a noteworthy person was saying this isn't right. So the government would have picked up on it and said this isn't right and would have gone out there and taken care of it. Why isn't that happening now? Yeah, TNT, I agree with you on that one. Oil them chippers up because this is going to be a busy season. This is the worst timeline. Yeah, that's the one I was looking for, Homestead Winch. Worst timeline ever. This is crazy work. Some things I'm just like, wow, this is so exciting. And some things like this, I'm just like, wow, what is happening to the next generation? Because again, this is our next president generation. This is the people who are going to go on and run the country. These people vote. This is wild work.
This day. So earlier when I asked myself, how did a 17-year-old get to the Bop House in the first place? I think I found my answer. I think the 17-year-old's mother made sure that she got there to collab with a bunch of OnlyFans creators because she knows that even though Piper does not have an OnlyFans page, she has which is essentially the same thing. And men will go to Piper's page, they will find out who she is, and they will spend $150, $250 to buy these full sets of images of Piper in very sexual poses. So the Bop House didn't need to cross the line of creating sexual content of Raquel. Somebody's already doing it.
And that's the thing, is they've been basically doing it since she was 7, 10. I don't know, allegedly, I don't know what the age was when they started doing this kind of stuff with her, but she was doing the shaving cream challenge with her brother when she was 10 years old, who was dating her mother, which means he could essentially be her father. And yet, as a man of 40 and I'm trying to date 27-year-olds or 30-year-olds or whatever that is still able to have kids, I'm getting looked down on. I'm not discriminating against women, but I want kids. So the ones that are older, my age essentially, are out of my realm. So the younger generation are the ones that are going to be the child bearers of the next generation. If they don't have children, we're at a crisis as it is. If you haven't looked into the birth rate, please do, because last time I looked at it, it was 1.66. You got to have at least 2 people. It has to be at least 2 to be able to replace the 2 that are giving birth to that 1.66. Considering it's not 2, it's not replacement rate. And we need to be at like 2.6 or 3 or something like that to be able to actually be growing the way we need to be. So this idea is not okay. See, not sure what all I had left on this video. We just barely got started on it. At least it's only 10 minutes, so we'll see what we can get through on this one here.
Fans, creators get together and they make their sexual content with one another. She was
So
invited
I think
to
this might be a lot of
$30
the same stuff that she covered in the other video. She's just kind of recapping it now that she turned 18. She's just basically saying, hey, I went through this already and told you. But this is part of what and it was on the other video, I just skipped through it. But this is what I was kind of going for. She has, I don't know if this is a Patreon or what this is, but she has tiers. And back in 10 months ago, Amala paid for the bottom tier, Piper Pro Plus, 10 months ago. So we're talking about a 17-year-old. Hey, Pharmacat, good to have you in. Welcome into the stream. All right, so let's see maybe where she starts talking about this.
minor with a page like this.
Now, when you go to the
There it is.
you're going to find that there are 3 tiers of membership. There's a $5 membership, a $30 membership, and a $100 membership. I wonder what you're getting there. And in the About Me, it says, I'm so excited to share more of me with you. Kissy face, lock emoji, parent managed. Tens of
So, like, she's basically just about to say, you know what you're getting with that one. If you're paying $100 a month, you're getting some perks, right? And for a young woman like that, again, this is 10 months ago when this particular video was made. This particular video was made in 10 days ago, but the one that she goes and buys this subscription was 10 months ago when she was underage.
thousands of people are already on this page, have signed up, have gotten the photos, and the actual profile picture on this page is Piper in a bikini posing sexually. And when you read the description for the $100 package, it says, congrats on joining Piper Platinum Plus. You will receive 1 free full set the first of every month.
So what do we think that is? Obviously, like she says here in a bit, what do you think a full set is? And we're talking about 10 months ago. So this young lady is not of age yet, and yet a free set of your choice to unlock on your birthday.
A free set of your choice to unlock on your birthday, free DMs, free access to live streams, priority customs, free behind the scenes, and biggest discount access to unlock all photos with a purple devil emoji and a monkey with its hand over its eyes. So I imagine when they're talking about sets or getting a free full set, they're talking about photos.
Oh no. TNT. Prayers, man. Not sure what all you want, but prayers. I'm sorry to hear that, brother.
Of some sort. I don't know what priority customs means. I'm going to leave that to your imagination. And of course, the devil emoji and the little monkey with the hand over the eyes insinuates what you will be signing up for here. And why anybody would be paying $100 a month for this is beyond me. But for the sake of confirming my suspicions, I'm going to see what Piper Pro Plus actually is. And let's go ahead and fork out $5. So guys, I paid $5 to unlock this page. And what you get when you unlock this page is a treasure trove of sexual photos of a minor.
No, I'll remind
So again, like she's probably just about to remind us, this was done 10 months ago when she was 17 years old. The $5 package is what she's talking about. The lowest tier that you can possibly get is what she's referring to here. So what all does she include in the other 2 packages?
you again, when I found this page, Piper Raquel was 17 years old, and this page was supposedly parent managed. And that's what the pages of not only her, but other minors stated as you opened them and tried to subscribe. This took me down a rabbit hole on a ton of different sites where there are teen influencers.
So just because we say that we're managed by a parent means that we can start doing things as an adult? The last I knew, you still can't do the P word if you're not of age. They can't sign your life away like this. So why are we allowing it here?
At least that's what they're calling themselves, that are opening up these subscription pages and allowing their patrons to purchase bikini-clad photos and sexually suggestive photos. And again, an important note is that almost all of these sites claimed to be parent-managed, at least for their junior users under 18. And then, of course, I have to ask myself, which parent of Piper's is allowing this to happen and is allegedly running these websites like the site on Brand Army? Now, I don't know this to be true, but allegedly, in my research, all roads lead to
Yeah, TNT. I agree with that. It's a crime. As far as I don't see how it cannot be considered a crime. But yet, this is the second case of it. And like I said, when I saw this story come out, it was, almost like Little Tay just got swept to the side. Like she's not even a story anymore, which is concerning to me in and of its own, because again, online, we do things, we do skits and we do parodies and we do satire. And yet, if you're not labeling yourself as satirical, then you get seen as legitimate, and people start to view you as being okay with it or getting away with it, and everybody else being okay with it. So you start to mimic the actions, not realizing that it was satirical from the beginning. So Little Tay dropping out into the ether is basically giving this young woman the okay that she didn't get dogpiled on. Now this young lady is getting even more money. She needs to be dogpiled on. I'm sorry, young woman, but you need to, your father needs to say he loves you a time or two, I guess. I don't know, because this idea, what good father would be okay with his young daughter doing this kind of stuff? It's wild.
Piper Raquel's mother. I actually uncovered that Piper Raquel's mother, alongside her boyfriend, that guy who was pretending to be Piper's brother in the shaving cream challenge or whatever, they were sued for child abuse and retaliation by kids who were involved in the content creation that was happening on Piper Raquel's.
So again, like you mentioned in the other one, the $22 million, in which it was like $1 million settlement or something like that, but $1 million, like $1.8 million settlement. And she was underage. She wasn't even to the point where she was making $1 million in a day and stuff. But Homestead Wench, yeah, parents sell their toddlers to toddler children to dealers for, yeah, it's this kind of stuff needs to be shamed, because the law can only take so much of it in account. It can only handle so much of it. We as a people need to start standing our ground and saying enough is enough. We want our children to have a better future than this.
Are being exploited by parental figures and parents in their lives. And while at the time I tried to reach out to sites like Brand Army to see if they were investigating this or doing it.
Fair enough, Dave. Yeah, I can't make the sense of degeneracy. I know I can't, but me talking it through might help me not pull my hair out. I don't know. Pull my eyes off. Sorry.
Anything about the junior accounts and the content that they were selling. We heard back from exactly 0 people. In fact, I don't know if this.
Hey, Rubber Ducky. Good to see you, buddy. Good to have you in. I know you've been trying to catch the streams, and I appreciate you getting in. I'm kind of over my time, but I'll be on for a little bit longer. I appreciate you being here for a little.
Is related, but I tried to look into Brand Army again because of Piper Raquel's creation of this OnlyFans, and it looks like they've changed their name to wink.ing, and they're now operating under a new site. So I don't know why that is. But now, of course, we have the final update, and that is that Piper Raquel has turned 18 and started an OnlyFans. So, of course, she went from a 10-year-old who was having videos of shaving cream bath challenges posted on platforms like YouTube to an 18-year-old who is now selling sexual content online on OnlyFans. Now she's marketing this OnlyFans online, claiming to have made over $1 million in 24 hours, although some fans and followers are pointing out that this does not seem to be true, considering she did a bad Photoshop job and left a $sign where one was not supposed to be in her initial screenshot. Now she deleted that tweet, posted another alleging to have made over $2 million, so who knows how much money this young girl is raking in, but we do know that she's raking in money. Her OnlyFans does have quite a bit of traffic, although it might not be to the tune of $2.3 million or whatever it is that she's posted online. This unfortunately seems to be a new cycle that's being created online where young girls are becoming influencers and they're finding followers and fans who are interested in sexually suggestive content. Their parents or managers or whoever is creating this content with them is then leaning into the sexually suggestive nature that this content could be made in, and then following that to the furthest extent possible, which is the ability to be on sites like Brand Army or wink.ing as it's now called, and to be selling bikini-clad photos and suggestive photos. Then when these young girls turn 18, because they know the sexual nature and the sexual reality of their content and of their fans, they start an OnlyFans. This is where we get the Sophie Rains and the Little Tays and now the Piper.
Yeah, so Little Tay was on this, but very brief. But yeah, this is where we're getting all these young teeny boppers the little bop house teeny boppers. They're all coming from the idea that you can make millions. And unfortunately, every time that Little Tay or this Piper Raquel get their money and we don't shame them, another little teeny bopper gets her title, gets her wings, if you will. It's ridiculous.
Raquel's, and it's so devastating to watch, considering you can see the pattern of exploitation online being laid out right before your eyes and the natural conclusion, which is a freshly 18 OnlyFans. And what's really weird about the Piper Raquel situation, or particularly disturbing, is the obvious but alleged family involvement in everything that she's been creating. Here's a TikTok that she posted recently involving her grandmother, supposedly.
Oh my god. She was gonna be so upset.
In honor of me just dropping my link, I'm gonna show my grandma.
Look at the grandmother. Like, she is so into it. Like, again, the parents and the grandmother being part of it. That is just wild to me.
The first set I posted, okay? I feel like we're a family, and I think that we all have to be aware of what I'm doing.
I'm scared.
I'm scared.
Where the fuck? Your whole is hanging out. I did not raise you to do this.
Yeah, sure. You're super upset with that facial expression and the way that she's moving and acting. Yeah, this is all a setup here. Just for views, just for likes. Remember, guys, everything on the internet is fake. Except for me, of course. Yours truly. I'm just a potato. I am who I am.
Artsy.
Beyonce out that door. Get the fuck out of here now.
Are you being serious?
Now, obviously, this is a marketing bit. This grandmother is in no way, shape, or form actually upset about anything going on and anything that she's posting online as a person who's just turned 18. And to me, that is deeply disturbing. If this even is her real grandmother, given her history on platforms like YouTube, it's so unfortunate that this is the reality that we're living in right now. And it's most unfortunate for girls like Piper Raquel, who are not, I think, in the right mind space to understand that they've been exploited, to understand that this is grooming that took place on the internet, that took place with people around her allegedly, and that unfortunately set her on a path that was more than likely going to end here no matter what took place. In my opinion, she's been set up since the age of 10 to have lived this reality of being an 18-year-old on OnlyFans. And while I cannot say with 100% certainty exactly who is responsible for grooming this young girl into this reality, I will say whoever is responsible is an extremely disturbed individual. And while Piper may be making a lot of money, like so many other young girls in her position are right now online, this is the
Yeah, like I said, this is just wild. Worst timeline in history. Homestead Wench. I have one fan and all my bills are paid. Well, that's awesome, man. And I'm honestly, seriously, props to the people who are living the life that we should be living. The 1950s nuclear family, whatever you want to call it. But homesteading especially, props. That stuff is intense. I haven't done any actual homesteading, but I've done a lot of research into it. I would love to be a homesteader myself someday. And it's a lot of work. The people that think that just because you don't go to work every day and are in the rat race, you're lazy, are just full of BS.
product of grooming. There's really no other way to cut the cake. So yeah, guys, that's the unfortunate final update to the Piper Raquel situation. And I have a
Yeah, so that's basically what it is. I mean, I won't necessarily bore you with her outro on it. Just like I said in the description, are we failing the next generation by allowing this stuff to take place? Again, as I always ask at the end of each stream, please like, subscribe, share, right? Put your comments in this comment section. Let's have a discussion of why we think that this is an okay way to be, process forward to go. Before we go, I'll go ahead and bring back up the funny stuff that I had, considering we have a few minutes before I've really got to get going, and that was intense. So I'd kind of like to bring some funniness back into the scenario. So we'll go back to this one because this is the one I started with. All right, so let's see. If I don't need a man was a person. Now, as a construction worker, I know that right there is not something to support yourself with. Oh, goodness. That had to hurt. That had to hurt. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. All right. So the next one, this one is hilarious because women like to think that they can, equal rights, equal left. They can take it. They can give it. They can handle it. So here we go. Oh, look at her. She's so polite and so calm with it. Knocks him upside the, and he takes it. I mean, he takes it. Like he just pummels that freaking bull. But you can see the person that's doing the, I don't know, announcer or whatever he is, like, what? Huh? Nani? Oh, he got it. Oh, Rubber Duck, have you seen this one? This one is hilarious. I've watched it like 15 times, and every time it cracks me up. The look on these girls' faces in the back, they're like, huh. Oh, you can see them like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? Yeah, he's letting it set in that it did hurt. But he took it. He took it like a champ and he gave it back. She's so mad. How could you? How could you? She was a girl. Yeah, you see the dent that she left in that bowl from his head? The look on her face. Just wait. Oh, man. That rocked your world, didn't it? Yeah, all right. That's freaking funny there. Oh, and this one cracks me up.
Hi, my name is Carrie, and I'm the district manager at this Taco Bell location. And this is a message to the group of teen boys who keep trying.
Oh man, this one's great. Oh, yeah, Mr. B, if F around him, F out who's a person. Yeah. These hands are rated E for everyone. Equality. Exactly. All right, back to this.
Trying to set our building on fire. You call yourselves by many names.
By many names.
Nacho average arsonists. Doritos Locos Tacos Muertos.
Muerto.
Boo-hoo blast. Taco alarm bell.
Taco alarm bell.
Chalup punishment. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. We'll kill ya.
Oh, that one was good.
Charred shell taco. Quesari total destruction. Sodom and Gomorrah. Cinco de Ono. I'm burning up for two baby and die mas.
Oh man. They're obviously below average. The place is still standing. Yeah, for real though, right? She does a couple of them, but I think this one is probably the best one that I've seen yet so far.
I need you to stop doing this. Can you please stop doing this? Hi.
Oh man. I hope someday I get to be as funny as some of these people online are. Oh, this one is actually.
So you can teleport, but only as far as you can throw a piece of your own clothing. So this is pretty cool because
you haven't seen this yet. This is hilarious. Oh man.
I'm gonna start with a shirt. I want to land right on my feet. I want to my damage. So you can.
forgot his own rules there. You throw a piece of clothing, not just your shirt, bud.
Teleport, but only as far as you can throw a piece of your own clothing. So this is pretty cool because I'm going to start with a shirt, but I want to land right on my feet when I'm doing my damage.
I'm curious how he got himself to catch like against that like that. The editing of these people sometimes freaking hilarious. All right. I think that's pretty much, well, actually, no, I'll have to show you this one. And he's installing his emotions. He's going through every single one of them in a second or two. I hope that YouTube doesn't have a problem with sharing this. Looks like he is so done with life already. Oh man. Hey, Mushmouth Joe, good to see you, buddy. Better late than never. I appreciate you coming in and touching the stream a little later than I usually stream for, so I appreciate you coming in and stopping in here. All right, that looks like it was pretty much it. I don't know if that one would be too racist to show online or not. Oh man. Okay. That's pretty much all I have for the day. I could go on, but I won't necessarily tie you guys up. Let's see. I guess we'll go back to this for a minute. If you haven't liked the stream, please like the stream. Please share my goofiness out there. I was terrible today on my stream, but hopefully this is the last time. Well, I can't say that. Hopefully this is one of the last times that I have issues, technical issues. I know that even Andrew Wilson has technical issues on his streams still, but I know how important it is to get off the ground and start with a good stream. So I really appreciate you guys sticking with me like you have, and the support that I've gotten. The fact that I have 15 viewers with, I think I'm getting up there in subscribers. Again, thank you very much for that, guys. But the fact that I have 15 viewers on most of my streams is intense. I think Gamer mentioned it one of the other streams, and I meant to mention thank you very much for saying that, Gamer, if you're still in the chat. It gives me hope. I really want to be something. I want to help people. So in the end, I would really like to become a face in the online sphere. So for now, I'll go ahead and sign off, but please take care of yourselves. As always, remember those Second Amendment rights within the United States. Your response time will always be faster than that of the police. Why restrict yourself to that time frame and not allow yourself the ability to defend your own property? Those outside of the United States, please take